Hi, my name is Verlyn Britton, and today I'm going to talk about sometimes we need to run away or flee. We have been taught through life that it's almost honorable to stick it through. It's almost honorable to work it out, that we should try our best at everything. Don't give up. We actually believe that we are capable and able to handle all things. A lot of times we do. And a lot of times we become complacent. Sometimes sticking it out is not necessarily honorable. It's because we've become complacent. We've become accepting of our situation when we should not. And a simple remedy might just be to run away or to flee. And I know this is not what you've heard before, but many biblical heroes, Moses, when he killed an Egyptian, even though he was part of the elite, he did not say, hey, they're going to know exactly why I killed that Egyptian. However, Moses did not stay. He fled. He ran away. He ran to a complete different land with a different culture and a place that he was not familiar with. And he got married. And later on he came back. However, when he came back, there was no threat to his life. Another biblical hero that ran was Elijah. Elijah had just completed killing all of the false prophets of the land. And then Jezebel, the queen, sent a message to him and said, just like you have killed those men, I will ensure that you are dead by tomorrow. And he ran. My point is, we sometimes stay in a situation too long. Even Jacob, another biblical hero, when he was basically taken advantage of by his father-in-law, Laban decided that he wasn't taking it anymore. And in the middle of the night, he took Laban's 2 daughters and fled and left Laban's camp. So sometimes we may have to flee and run away in the middle of the night. And there are times when, even though it may seem the honorable thing to stay, we should go against that and flee and run. Situations where you definitely should flee and run is when you are in an abusive relationship, when your life is threatened. All these great men, they ran when their life was threatened. Even Jesus Christ, parents Mary and Joseph, when King Herod had sent a decree that said all the 2-year-olds were going to die. He was going to kill every 2-year-old because he was jealous of the possibility of a new king being born. They didn't say that they are carrying or they have the Son of God. You know what they did? They fled to Egypt until that king was dead. And then they returned. So sometimes we don't need to just flee mentally or decide, oh, I'm going to stay in this relationship because I know how to handle him. I mentally tune him out. I'm going to get me another man. I'm just going to go to God. I'm not going to pray and I'm going to make sure things change. Sometimes that's not wise to do. Sometimes you need to flee. And not only do that, you need to flee. You need to go to a whole new place, a whole new city. You need to get away. Also, another time when you should flee is when you are being constantly unappreciated. For example, when you are in a job and you are slowly dying because no one appreciates what you are doing, no one is giving you a raise, but you are staying because of fear that you may not get another job, or whatever reason that you are staying. But do you know that there are more heart attacks on Monday morning because of the stress factor of going to a job that does not fulfill your life. You spend 8 hours a day plus at a job. It needs to be a job that is fulfilling to you, because if it's not fulfilling to you, it's slowly killing you, and you don't want to be that statistic. But even worse, you don't want to be slowly dying in a place that you're spending majority of your time. So even though it may appear to be the honorable thing to stay, sometimes you gotta flee, and sometimes you gotta run away. Another time that you should run away or flee is when you are in a toxic situation or a toxic environment. If you are in an environment that is plagued with drugs, that is causing you to lose your sons and your daughters every day, not only is it plagued with drugs, it's plagued with violence. You don't stay and say, hey, I'm going to do the honorable thing. I'm going to be the best person on the street, and I'm going to change this neighborhood. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's not an honorable thing. But I'm saying that sometimes you got to flee and you got to run. Even if you are not being affected, your children, your generation can be affected. So sometimes if you're in an environment that has everything going on that's toxic, but you are not being affected, and you are the strong one, but your kids are on drugs, or your kids have a strange ideology of thinking, or your husband is doing what he has no business doing, sometimes it is time to pack up in the middle of the night and flee. So, what is it that you're holding on to so strongly, that you're not moving, that you've become complacent, that you have accepted as the norm? It is not the norm. Anything that creates chaos, anything that threatens your life, anything that is an environment that does not promote growth, anything that you will be afraid to have your own child or your baby to walk down the street. If you are in that environment, you need to flee. And not just down the street or to an apartment a mile away. You need to flee far away. So I challenge you today. Even though it may seem to be the honorable thing, even though it may seem to be what society may say that you gotta do, you gotta stick it out, put some blinders on and begin fleeing and begin running. Run away from that situation.